When a major motion picture studio releases a film, they often release the review embargo days or even weeks in advance, especially when they are very confident about their product. They expect positive reviews that will create a positive buzz and create a blockbuster smash hit at the box office. This week, we have a major motion picture studio releasing what should be a blockbuster hit, but the review embargo is still in place as of the recording of this, and that movie comes out tomorrow. That movie, of course, is Disney's Snow White, their live-action remake of the 1937 animated classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Why haven't they lifted the review embargo yet? Why are they waiting to the very last minute? Could be that they might be expecting some bad news in these reviews. A live-action remake of Snow White might be bad news for Disney, but what is the good news? Well, that's all of you out there watching. We have the best, brightest audience on YouTube, and if you don't mind, please consider clicking that like button on the way in as we dive deeper into why Snow White has not yet released their review embargo. My name is Ronnie Bradley, and you are watching Fedora Finds on Follow the Bradleys Fun. We are looking at the Snow White film coming up this weekend, the live-action remake of the classic 1937 animated classic Disney film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that started it all for the Walt Disney Company, because that film, before it came out, was kind of not expected to do well. Kind of known as Disney's Folly, and nobody expected a full-length animated feature at the box office to do well, and it was a success. And everything that the Disney company is today, all of the success that they've had since 1937, they owe to that film. How is the new Snow White live-action film shaping up in comparison at the box office? Well, I have showtimes from my local theater to take a look at so you can see with me how it's doing one day before the release. So let me put that on the screen for you to see. There it is, Disney's Snow White, except that is clearly not Snow White. That is Gal Gadot's beautiful evil queen, the fairest in the land, obviously. And I know a lot of people are looking at that apple in her hand, and they're saying, "Go Apple!" I don't know why, but they're rooting for the apple. What could it be? So let's take a look at some of the showtimes over here. This is my local theater. This is about 15 minutes away from Walt Disney World, so not too far away from that. Let's go over here to showtimes at the theater that is very, very close to Walt Disney World. And we're going to look at Thursday, the 20th as of the recording of this. And there it is. We got 7 available showings of Disney's Snow White, an hour and 49 minutes. So let's check out that 2 p.m. show. Let's see how the 2 p.m. show is doing. We'll bring that up on the screen here as we wait for that. And there is the map of the theater, and all of those white seats that you see there, well, they are empty. They would be grayed in if they were sold. So let me see here. Oh, look, 4 of them have sold since I last looked. So that's some positive news. There's 4 people sitting right smack in the center of the theater for the 2 p.m. showing. Woohoo! Yeah, you got 4 people going. That'll rake it in right there. Woohoo! And let's check out the 3:45 p.m. showing. Let's see how that's doing. 3:45 p.m. Let's look at the screen here. Bop it above. Oh, look, you got 3 people going. 3 people sitting right in the middle of the theater. At the no, there's another person. One lonely person sitting all the way at the back. Probably the theater manager who has to screen this and make sure everything's okay. That one person sitting at the back. That is kind of funny. And now let's take a look at that 4:45 p.m. showing. And as we bring the 4:45 p.m. showing up on the screen, we can see that is an auditorium 4. That is their biggest auditorium. And how many seats are sold for the 4:40? Okay, not a single seat is sold for the 4:45 p.m. show tomorrow. So And there you have it. It just doesn't look like there's an incredible amount of enthusiasm for this particular property, Snow White, the live action version. I wonder if that could be the reason the review embargo stays until 3 o'clock today and it's not released. Interesting. I wonder what's going to happen with that. Well, let's find out. We're going to go to an article out of thatparkplace.com by Marvin Montanaro. When does the Snow White review embargo lift? Disney's last minute strategy raises red flags for Rachel Zegler film. By Marvin Montanaro, written on the 17th of March out of thatparkplace.com. As the countdown to Disney's live-action Snow White remake continues, a new development signals just how shaky confidence is within the House of Mouse. It has now been confirmed that Snow White review embargo will lift on March 19th. That's today, as of this recording, at 3 p.m. Eastern, only 24 hours before the first public showings begin. Actually, here it's 23 hours before. A strategy commonly used when studios expect critical reception to be, let's just say, less than favorable. For context, major studios typically allow reviews to drop several days, sometimes even a week or more ahead of release when they believe that they have a hit on their hands. Early reviews generate buzz, build audience anticipation, and create positive word of mouth. But when the review embargo is held until the last minute, it usually indicates that the studio expects or knows that the feedback won't be great. This move is just the latest in a series of red flags surrounding Snow White. Disney has already scaled back the film's Hollywood premiere, skipping the usual full-scale red carpet event and limiting media access. Lead actress Rachel Zegler has been noticeably absent from U.S. press interviews instead of confined to tightly controlled international appearances. The film's marketing rollout has been uncharacteristically subdued, especially for a brand as massive as Disney's live-action remake division. Interestingly, the early social media reactions from those who attended the scaled-back Hollywood premiere have been overwhelmingly positive. Influencers, Disney-friendly outlets, and select attendees have been quick to praise the film's visuals, performances, and updated storyline. However, the fact that Disney is still enforcing such a tight Snow White review embargo, that's to the general reviewers, raises questions. If the feedback from the premiere was genuinely reflective of a broader critical opinion, there'd be no reason to hold back full reviews until the last possible moment. Instead, the embargo remains fully in place, suggesting that Disney knows the general critic pool may not share the same glowing enthusiasm as hand-picked premiere attendees. Box office projections are equally grim. Current estimates suggest an opening weekend haul of 48 to 58 billion, a far cry from the blockbuster numbers Disney typically expects from its reimaginings of classic animated films. When compared to previous live-action hits like Beauty and the Beast or Lion King, Snow White is tracking well below expectations, and you can maybe see why. There is the nightmare fuel that is the CGI plastic-looking, dopey, kind of creepy. I don't know why they just didn't go with real little people for these roles. This tight Snow White review embargo all but confirms what many industry watchers already suspected. Disney isn't betting on Snow White to win over critics or audiences. Instead, they're hoping to minimize negative headlines before opening weekend, preventing poor reviews from tanking ticket sales any earlier than necessary. But audiences aren't blind. Between last-minute ticket sales push, scaled-back press events, and now this restrictive Snow White review embargo, the signs are clear. Disney is bracing for impact and attempting to control as much damage as possible. The move also continues a growing pattern of major studios losing confidence in their own products, choosing to avoid transparency until the last possible moment, whether it's a reflection of creative missteps, poor test screenings, or troubled production decisions. A late Snow White review embargo speaks volumes. Probably not the volume of Rachel Zegler as she opens her mouth. At this point, the writing appears to be on the wall for Snow White, and while Disney might hope to weather the storm long enough to salvage opening weekend numbers, the Snow White review embargo is just one more signal to fans and critics alike that even the studio knows this remake is in serious trouble. Yeah, doesn't really look very, very good for the Snow White remake. Obviously, with all of the controversy that Rachel Zegler herself has caused, never really apologizing for her early comments, even though they've streamlined what she has to say now. I don't really know what's going to happen with this snow. Um, but we shall see. Guys, leave your comments, please, down below. What do you think? Why is the review embargo being held so long? Do you think that is good news for the film, for bad news for the film? Let us know your comments below. Please leave a like on this video. If you haven't, consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. And, of course, do click that notifications bell. When you click it, you stick it to the YouTube algorithm, and you get notified of all of our uploads here at Follow the Bradleys Fun. Thank you so much for checking out our video today. And, of course, until next time, we bid you adieu. See ya real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao. Thanks for coming in.